jumper. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the opportunity we've been waiting for. And almost everybody wanted to have a one-on-one with our only inventor of the magic device, Oxytap, the only oxygen infuser in the world today. And I know a lot of questions will be coming at the tail end of your training. And before we start, I just want to take this opportunity to recognize the presence of our operations director, Mr. Moses Go, and as well recognize the presence of our CEO, Madam Susan Gadoni. I as well want to recognize the presence of our chief editor, Professor Leonida Mwenesi, and our technical team headed by Mr. Emmanuel Kani and James. Thank you for the good work you've done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, distributors and invited guests on this special occasion for the Africa region and we have
Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, you got to make me the co-admin.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, you can. Oh, good, very good. Okay, good. All right. Okay, let me just pull it up. Okay. So everybody, welcome. And whatever the time, it is 10 p.m. and your time is in the afternoon. And I always like to wish everybody good more earnings. So good more earning is better than good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Because it's like you're saying a prayers to someone, wishing him the best to have more earnings, and you shall respond by saying amen. So your wish will be... You control the background noise. Right. So let me just introduce myself. Right. My name is Noor Rashid, or you can call me Noor. You can also call me Rashid, whichever is easy for you. I am a Singaporean living in Brunei, one part of Borneo. I've been with Prive for nearly, and I'm the executive director for Prive International in Singapore, as well as the corporate affairs director for Prive International in Malaysia. So you can see this was during our first year anniversary in Malaysia. Some of you were there, and I'm happy to meet some of you. So in Prive International, we wish everybody good more earnings, and there's a lot of great things that are coming. So what you want to do is to take advantage, because you have the lead time advantage. So this lead time advantage is something that you got to see beyond, and it is not ready. Because the moment it is ready, you're going to become one of the numbers. You should be able to see beyond, and you should already know that this will be something will be in demand in the future. So you're going to hit the iron when it's hot. So first, before we start, this is our natural way, and also we want to make a medical disclaimer. So we never say that this is a medical device, that is going to be curing you and all, but you are the best doctor for your own body. I mean, put it in short, if you feel something that is good, probably it's going to be good for good. So let me just correct. I'm not the inventor for the Oxytap, but I found Oxytap. Right, I was very versed with water. I was once also the biggest distributor of Kangen water. If you heard about Kangen water, right? So I did introduce the Kangen water to people. when there wasn't any office in Singapore, Malaysia, or even in Indonesia and so on. So it hit. So the same thing with the Oxytap. When I saw it first, I say, wow, this is gonna be a game changer. Because what is so great about this Oxytap, it complements any water filter out there. We are not competing. We are the CEO and the founder of the Oxytap, he's a Singaporean himself, Mr. Wilson Tan, right? I've spoken to him and he'll be more than happy one of these days to come and talk about Oxytap in Zoom, and also to look forward to go around down to Africa and share about the benefits of Oxytap and the potential in the market business. So he is the person that has been, like I said again, the core behind the Singapore water. You know, in Singapore, we drink recycled water. So the water that's from the toilets and all that is being recycled and is able to drink. So he played the key role. He played the key role in making the water that is safe enough for us to drink, right? And on top of that, if you've been to Singapore, in the Singapore Aquarium, he is also the one behind to ensure that the largest aquarium indoor is being corrected for all the fishes to survive. So he is the person behind it. So it's very well. He has changed and going into something that's going to help and heal people. Let's hear a word what he has got to say to all of you.
Hi, private leaders. Thank you for your support and thank you for tuning in to the live podcast. And I just want to have a quick intro of who am I, who, and why we came this route. So I'm Wilson, basically the inventor and the Chief Technology Officer and CEO of Oxytap. How we came about basically was my mom passed on at 67 from leukemia, and she was from a very fit condition, and the doctor gave her 3 months to live, and then she went on. So basically, I wanted to see a world disease-free and not filled with chemicals or unnatural products, right? So that's where the vision for Oxytap came, and we basically combine oxygen and water, which is two vital elements for health and wellness and for longevity, and to put it in a box like Oxytap and to deliver it in a form factor which can easily be consumed and easily increase your energy levels and longevity just by drinking it. So this is what we do, and we want to do it naturally without the chemicals. So Oxytap in every household and giving people hope for natural and exciting products. Yeah, see you soon.
Right. So now you have met him, and I just had a word with him. He says he's send his regards to all of you and his love, and he's looking forward to do the next Zoom to share the much more advanced update about what Oxytap can do to all of us. Okay, moving on forward. We all know these are the 3 rules of human survival. And what do I mean by that? You see, we can survive in a very harsh environment. And especially, we're talking about hunger. Each and every one of us probably can go and survive 3 weeks without food, or to some, it's even longer, right? So something that you can go without for 3 weeks. But yourself, how many days can you survive without water? To some, it's only 3 days. Those who are trained, they can even go longer than that. But the very most important, we like to ask each and everyone, how long can you survive without oxygen? So it's very simple. Try to hold your breath. And most of us, maximum that we could hold our breath is only about 1 minute. Then after that, we will be gasping for air. So what's important over here, if we are not trained, we can't survive 3 minutes without oxygen. So if you look at the fundamental basic primary survival. Comes next will be water and also food. So a lot of people, they got mixed up between oxygen and air. So the two significant difference, all of us could be in the same room and breathing the same air. But did you ever notice the person next to you in hospital breathing the same air, but they need the oxygen tank to breathe in. So what is so important, this is fundamental facts that you need to have oxygen, and without oxygen, right, this will make you, like I said again, you can go blackout, your brain's going to go unfunction, and this, even a brief of 3 to 5 minutes, going to cause you irreversible death of brain neuron. So this is the impact of the importance of oxygen. So what is most important, we are now living in a global problem in the world that's having this problem of oxygen pandemic. Not just the COVID-19, it's not just a health problem, and this is due to all the advancement technology in the world. The city is growing. There's a lot of, like I said again, from the factory that produce all those smokes and from the vehicle. And what happened is that this is spoiling. And basically, we can't breathe fresh air into our lungs. And what's more important to this, because of lack of oxygen, it's going to promote premature aging. And what is going to happen? Now, the cause of all this sickness of hypoxia, headache, restlessness, confusion, rapid breathlessness is all due to the lack of fresh oxygen. Remember, the difference is we could be in a room full of air and yet lack of oxygen. So what is oxygen? You need humidity. Just like if you're climbing a mountain, right? You're climbing on a Mount Everest, you could be in a high altitude, it lacks humidity. That is the reason you need the oxygen tank. Okay. So we understand that with low oxygen, it causes our body to go into premature aging, and your mind's going to be very clouded with stress, and the pollution and all these diseases will come and infect you easily. And what is the main concern? The moment if you haven't been diagnosed with COVID-19, the scars in your lung is going to be permanent. So what is the difference? You can be breathing in, but all your lungs, oxygen sacs will not be filled with oxygen. There is very shallow that you can breathe in the air into your lungs. So what happens is that it causes a permanent, like I said again, impact to your lungs. So this will have a lasting impact to your health. And what is the other thing? It needs oxygen to give you the energy of mitochondria. Just like I like to put it in a layman example. For example, if you fill in your gas tank, your car with a petrol, it needs oxygen in order to have that combustion. So as for the human, right, what we need an energy for the cell is oxygen to give you the energy. So with that, that is where it can have much more, like I said again, your cell to last even longer, to fight on infection and to keep you young and alive. So we will prove on what is important and how it prevents on premature aging. So what is important, they have done a study why oxygen is needed in a lower altitude that it has humidity. So a lot of people, for example, those pilots or even flight stewardess, when they are flying, they are more prone to be the cancer, like again, cancer patient due to low, like again, low humidity. And I used to be a flight attendant with United Airlines. This was me when I was 26 years young. But what you are seeing me, I am 60 years old. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a spring chicken. I am a 60 years old. I have 9 children. I'm also a grandfather of 2. So I remember during my younger days when I was flying, right? And I was suffering with a lot of health issue. Number one, I was having, like I said again, acute asthma. I need to have my inhaler very often. And on top of that, I was suffering with gastric and I couldn't explain it. And I didn't fly for a very long time. I was only flying for about 3 years. right? Then after that, I tried to find a career on ground. So what it does, it shows here for those people who are working in a high altitude, especially the captains or even the flight attendants, they are more prone to be like I said again, a person that's going to caught up with cancer, right? The percentage is much more higher. And do not forget, not only for those people who are working, if you are FIT, frequent individual traveler, likewise, if you're sitting for a very long time, right, your blood doesn't have a better circulation in your body, you're going to have blood clots and lack of oxygen, and these cause the risk. Blood clots over 12 hours flight. And what is great about the Oxytap, this is what happened is that it is so mobile, it is not a water filter, you can carry it along whenever you travel. This was me, a picture on the left, when I was traveling from Kuala Lumpur and we were going to Europe. So I have it with me, hand carry. You will not have any problem to carry it on board. Do not check it in, because the moment you check in, you want to make sure that it doesn't get damaged, right? So it's better for you to hand carry. And when we have a stopover, all we need to do is just take it out, plug it in. So the good thing about the Oxytap, it is universal voltage or dual voltage. You can use it in Asia, you can also use it in Europe, and you just put in any water bottle, and you can start preparing and drink the oxygenated water. So always, like I said again, bring along with you. So the same thing when we would travel in India, right? So whenever we go for a very big function, I would ensure that I will have my Oxytap. So just to share with you, for me personally, right, I know the importance of water and I know the importance of oxygen in the water. I myself would have 5 sets of Oxytap. I have one here right in my KL apartment. I also have one in my Singapore apartment. I have one in my Brunei home. I have one in the Brunei office, and I have the last one, the 5th one, which I use it as a standby whenever I go for a long flight. So even in the recent school holidays in December, we were having a family holiday right in Dubai, and I do carry my Oxytap that my whole family can actually enjoy and benefit of it. So the whole idea is that we want to ensure that we have a better water environment for us to drink and to prevent from any jet lag or even sickness when you have a long travel. So this is something that you can look into, and what you can see that it sits nicely in any of your dining room. It's not a water filter that you have to connect to any pipe, but you can just put it on any table, put in any water, whatever your water filter, you can add it on. So this is so simple, right? So these are the people who actually has got the Oxytap. Right now, he has gone across Europe, America, and Africa, and I like to share some of your stories, those who have already drank the Oxytap. So what's important, this is where I shared a little bit about the body anatomy. And this is something that I got actually from a hospital in Asia. Listen to this question. Did you know that disease starts to develop right from our DNA? Because the DNA is right in your cell. And when your cell is sick, it will affect your tissue. When your tissue is sick, it will affect your organs and it will affect you. I still remember vividly both my late parents in Singapore, they were diagnosed with cancer. They were in pain, and the doctor, like I said again, was telling us that, all right, the cancer cell is gone. Right? There's no more cancer, but however, the cancer cell is still hiding. We all know very well, whenever a cancer patient, they have to go through chemotherapy. And we knew that the chemotherapy will kill the cancer cell as well. It will also kill a healthy cell. So it's just like you throw what do you call it? A dynamite inside a room. Everybody, whether you're a bad, you're a good guy, everybody will get, let's again, killed. So what is the difference is that what is happening, whatever the medicine or whatever the supplement that we are taking is only treating at the organ level. But the root cause is lying right in the cell. So if you're talking about all those supplements, all those medication, if it's only treating at the organ level, it will end up as a placebo effect. What do I mean by that? Initially, when you start taking it, you will have a reaction. But over time, when your body becomes immune to it, the pain going to come back with a vengeance. So that is why there is a remission of the cancer that got into my parents, and that time they were suffering, and we paid lots of money. We were naive, we listened 100% to the doctor, but we were very sad to see that our parents were actually suffering. And when they passed on, there wasn't any last goodbye. It was just from the machine, and it just went flat. So that was a wake-up call. So there was a wake-up call for us to realize that the importance of, if you look at the organs, which one is the smallest, that lies the smallest blood vessel in our organ? Is it the smallest blood vessel lies in your heart, in your lungs, in your kidney, or any parts of the organs? And most of them, they got the answers wrong. Remember, the smallest blood vessel actually lies in our brain. And this is highly important, that oxygen is needed in your brain, because if you do not have enough oxygen, then you will enter into an hypoxia. So what's more, if you are traveling, that explains why people get really sometimes edgy in flights and all that, because there isn't enough oxygen. So remember, there's a difference between air and oxygen. So what you want to have is oxygen in your body, in your blood, in your organs. So this is a word from a Nobel Prize winner. Dr. Otto Warburg was mentioning, when cell has no oxygen to use, it can turn cancerous if they are deprived of oxygen for a long period. So what we want to have this approach, ladies and gentlemen, is about preventative measure, because prevention is always better than cure. So if we are given a choice, would you rather go to have a cure for your cancer, or perhaps to prevent cancer from even exist in your body? So this is a very strong word from a Nobel Prize winner, right? Deprive a cell 35% of its oxygen for 48 hours and it can become cancerous, right? So what we need, every cell in the body, it needs oxygen. It is being deprived of oxygen. That means what's going to happen, they are more prone to become a cancer cell. So this is something that I want it to be registered in our mind, to really know the importance of oxygen in the body. So again, what we want to do is to take the prevention approach rather than on medication. And when we talk about oxygen, there's a lot of confusion. People were trying to compare. What about if I'm going into an oxygen chamber, right? So hyperbaric oxygen chamber. So there was a lot of studying. When you are into the oxygen chamber, remember, what you need the oxygen is not just superficial of your body on the exterior, but actually internally. So when you are in the hyperbaric chamber, there was a study and showed that the oxygen level goes up, but the very next minute, when you step up of the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, it goes back to your normal just before you enter in. So this is very important. So you can see from here, the tissue oxygenation, when you are inside the hyperbaric chamber, it goes down. But after that, what happens is that it drops back to normal. So basically what we want to do, we want to make sure that the oxygen inside our body, it can go right into our organ. And the same thing, if you're breathing in from the oxygen tank, right? So what you need a special assistance to make sure that you get the correct amount of oxygen, because if it's over-oxygenated, it will be more bad to worse. You could end up with oxygen toxicity. So we have already know the hyperbaric chamber. It is expensive, it is complicated, and it's also dangerous if it's not being monitored and being, like I said again, used directed by a professional. And the same thing, if you're going to have an oxygen concentrator, this is something also you need to have a special. You can't have too much of it, because with that, you're going to end up with oxygen toxicity. So we want to have whereby it is easy for anyone to have it without any further complication. So there is a gap right now, right? Until we discovered in Oxytap. So what has we discovered in Oxytap is right into your drinking water. So this is a difference between the Oxytap and all the others. Take a look. I like to use Mother Nature as a point of reference. Have you ever wondered, the fish in the ocean, they are breathing oxygen through their gills, right? They breathe in oxygen through their gills. We never see a fish that goes jump out of the water, breathe oxygen, and dive back, except if they are mammals like whales, right? So other than that, all the fish in the ocean, they are breathing in oxygen. But I also like to ask you, have you ever wondered, for the billions of years under the seventh seabed, there isn't a single oxygen tank? So what's number one? There's oxygen in the water. It doesn't deplete. And I want you to compare. If you have a fish in an aquarium at home without an oxygen tank, how long can the fish survive without the oxygen tank? That is also water, but in a tank, as compared water right in the open sea. So the difference is that you need to have oxygen in the water. And the best water, like I said again, it's got to be a fresh water, a living water that's aerated, that is moving and all that, rather than it's become stale in a tank or consider that as a dead water. And why do I use this as a point of reference? That's oxygen in the water. Let be as clear that we all know that our body is 70% water. Yes, the human body is 70% water, but lack of oxygen. So what we are talking about, we need to have that oxygen in our body, right? Our body is 70% water. That means we need to have oxygen in the blood. That is the reason when the doctor check you, hey, there is a lack of oxygen in your blood, people get, like I said again, blackout, and they cannot be discharged of hospital because the oxygen level in their blood is very low. So with this in mind, what we're going to do is we want to compare all the various water that we thought all this while was the best. Yes, they are the best. But they do not give what the body needs. What the body needs in the water is to have it oxygen. Otherwise, what you're drinking water, you get bloated. The body doesn't absorb the oxygen. It doesn't, like I said again, replenish the oxygen in your body. So what we're going to do, we're going to buy all those various expensive brands out there. Because I was also being, like I said again, naive and thinking that the most expensive water out there is the best, right? So what we're going to do, we have all the various imported brands. So what we're going to have this, we're going to compare with the right. So what is good about the Oxytap, we are able to measure by using an ISO device, which is called, like again, dissolved oxygen meter. This is made in Europe and is ISO certified. It is more of an industrial. It can measure the amount of dissolved oxygen in your water. And I encourage you, if you are serious in growing the business of Oxytap, do get one. I can forward where you're going to get it, right? And the closest one may be from Europe. I do not know if they have a branch in somewhere in Africa. You can buy directly from them and they can ship it to you. So you can deal with them directly. I do not promote on this and I do not earn any commission of it. And I just want you, if you want to show this, you got to show it because numbers don't lie. Take a look at the numbers here. Evian water, right after the tap, the cap is being opened and it read at 7.4 dissolved oxygen. The next one, Fiji water. We all know this brand. and the reading is at 7.73 parts per million. The ppm is parts per million of DO, dissolved oxygen, right? And Volvic, another imported brand, and it reads at 8.01 parts per million. And Dasani, this is one of the cheapest brand out there, and it reads at 7.7 parts per million. Mind you, all these water bottle, they have been produced in the factory, and they have been, like I said again, left in the warehouse for a couple of, like I said again, weeks or months, and exposed to humidity and all that. And they are also put in a plastic container. They're going to release a lot of, like I said again, chemicals into the water. So what you're drinking is not basically fresh water. So this is also even worse, to state that the oxygen level is only less than number 10, right? And what happens, you can take any water, the moment we put it through the Oxytap, and you can see the reading jumps 26.72 parts per million. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very reason why, if you are very serious about making this business, go and get the dissolved oxygen meter. You're going to bring your Oxytap to your prospect home, get their water, and test it, one with the Oxytap and one without the Oxytap, and their eyes going to be open. That means to prove that their water at home can be increased and enhanced with dissolved oxygen once it's been put through Oxytap. And please take note, if you have the best water filter at home, it also will filter out the most oxygen. So remember, in water, there are 3 categories. The lowest category, you need to have a water filter. That's going to filter out all the dirt, the rust, and everything. And the second category, some people would like to have it ionized. Some people would like to have it alkaline. Some would like to have it, like again, reverse osmosis. But whatever the water filter, whether you have the brand of Amway, Causeway, Kangen, whatever it is, every water, they need Oxytap in order to get it oxygenated. Wow. So which means we are not competing with any brand out there. Instead, Oxytap complements the water filter and infuse it with lots of oxygen. So, right, number 1, we have something to measure it. And this is, like I said again, numbers don't lie. It shows the moment it puts into the Oxytap from their own water, it can enhance, infuse with more oxygen, more than triple compared to the first one. So next, and this is what we need to know. We want to turn the stale and dead water that you are already drinking, that you are giving to your family, to your loved one, to your children, to your parents, to your spouse. And the moment we put it into the oxygen, it turns it into a fresh living water. It's just like you have a rivers of water from the mountain that's coming right from your home, right? And drink water, drink oxygen, drink Oxytap. So there is a no-brainer. Everybody drinks water. Who at home doesn't drink water? Tell me. So what you have to drive, I do not want you to end up to become a salesman trying to sell the product. No, we are not selling Oxytap. But what you are actually sharing with them, you are giving them that when they have the Oxytap, that is an act of love. That is an act of love that they are giving to their loved one, their children, right? When the children is drinking the Oxytap, they feel much more, like I said again, healthier, right? This is life. Water is life. So you want to give the best water to your entire family, and it has no cost to you. Because what it is from the water right at your home. And this is what we are giving, the act of love. So remember, when they are getting the Oxytap, they are giving the act of love and indeed refresh, renewed life to their loved one. So next one. This is to correct a lot of misconception of facts because they confuse. I have oxygen, I have hydrogen, so I do not know which one is the best, which one should I got it, which one is the significant, which is a priority, which is a primary. So this is to understand, as I mentioned, you need to understand the anatomy of the body, you need to understand what your body needs and give exactly what the body needs, not the opposite. So from here, this is the human body composition, right? We understand these are all the other gases that you need, and you need nitrogen is only 3.5%, hydrogen is 9.5%. So this squash all those, like I said again, when those that people thinking, oh, hydrogen water is good. Again, as I mentioned, only going to be a placebo effect, because if you don't understand what the cell need, you are not treating the root cause of your health. But what we want to do is not working at the organ, but working at the root cause, which is right at the cell. And what the cell need is oxygen, because when the cell have enough oxygen, you can prevent yourself of getting cancer. That is it, right? And carbon is only 18.5%, and oxygen is 65%. Now I'm giving it to you. This is the statistics. This is to prove to you which is the most primary needs of the human body. Is it hydrogen or is it oxygen? So everybody now understand, yes, why does Prive have a different bottle of hydrogen and all that? What Prive is trying to do, because they do understand this is a premium product. Oxytap is a premium product, and to some, it is beyond their reach. So while it is beyond their reach, what they could do before they could even get the Oxytap, at least they could settle for something first for less. Yes, I do have my hydrogen bottle before. When I got to know Oxytap, the moment I have my Oxytap, I put aside and do not use anymore my hydrogen bottle. So don't you understand on this? So those people who can't afford on this for the time being, you settle for less. But I want you to start working on your finances to ensure, because you want to have the fresh water. One moment you have the Oxytap, do not mix it with the hydrogen. You're just confusing your body. So now we understand all these are statistics, all these are the fundamentals, because only oxygen water supplements that has the real result. So we have done the test to compare the oxygen in the water, but we also going to do the next test. How does it benefit to the body? And how can it show the results before and after drinking the Oxytap? Take a look at this. So we all know during the COVID, we are giving the oximeter, and from the oximeter, this is where it can measure the level of oxygen in your blood. And what happens when people are low of oxygen? That is why the last thing the doctor will check before they can release you out from the hospital is to check on your blood oxygen. That is the last thing. So remember having this? So this is another proof to show you this 80-year-old lady, right? Initial reading was 94.7. Good, but not good enough, because we want to keep it between the range between 96 to 99. Excuse me. After 15 seconds, drinking the Oxytap, and you can see it has increased to 99.7%. Ladies and gentlemen, it shows the moment you drink the Oxytap water, the oxygen goes to your blood. Your blood oxygen increase significantly, very fast. And this is numbers don't lie, right? And I had the same watch that I'm using, right? If you have an Apple Watch, they have this that you can measure the SpO2 or the blood oxygen. And this is one of our leaders. He was complaining to me, always feeling headache, and she was sick. It was during in Bangkok last year, and it was showing at 86. There was very low of oxygen. And after drinking, 86. And now, no wonder you're suffering all the pain in the body. Your body lack of oxygen. The tear, hypoxia, lactic acid. Yeah.
Our body is made about 75% of water. Wow. 95. 95.
86 to 95. I rest my case. That shows how fast it gets into your body, because the fastest of oxygen to go into your body is not by breathing, but actually by drinking the water. So I like to show, these are some of the tests that they did after a long COVID and all that. And this lady, she lost the strength of the right leg for 3 years. And after drinking it, the pain successfully relieved. Right. So this was done by Mr. Wilson when he had the convention in Germany. And they have a lot of testimonies from people drinking the shots of Oxytap, and they come back with, like I said again, they feel refreshed, right? Like quite instantly in that sense, right? And this is a 90-year-old elderly man, right, who have a high blood pressure and normalized after a week of drinking. So what's good about the drinking it is that you don't need any kind of prescription. All you need to do, as I'm drinking my Oxytap, and I drink it all the time. All the time. That when I'm having my breakfast, I'm having my lunch, and I'm having my, I'll call it my dinner and all that. When I drink water, I drink Oxytap. And what I did was I make it a habit. Whenever I go out as a family, we go for our lunch or dinner in a restaurant, right? We will always carry our self bottle of Oxytap. Yes, we do not carry the machine, so we just order the food, and the water for my children and all that will just have the Oxytap, and we drink it. And of course, if you want to have coffee and all that, you can always do that. And please make it a point that your children, when they go to school, right, they bring the water, whether you're going to make it into a colder drink and all that, it is all Oxytap, because it's going to be good for the brains. Remember, it goes to the brain. Oxygen needs the brain for a better retention of studies, and also better, what do you call it, attention in class. And this is the statistic data that proven the effective when you drink the Oxytap, right? It absorbs to your blood vessel 10 times faster as compared breathing in oxygen. Remember, when you are breathing in, those are in gas form, and it has a limitation to your lungs before it goes and all that. But when you are drinking the Oxytap, the oxygenated water, it goes through your gut. So it goes through your gut, it's gonna go very fast to all your, and it is 10 times faster. And it is 6 times faster, higher oxygen absorption in your organ. Wow, that's amazing, right? So this is to show the importance when you want to drink a highly oxygenated water. There is no such thing as over-oxygenated, because why? It's only water, it's not gas. Because if you have a gas, you might end up with oxygen toxicity, but not in drinking oxygenated water. It will neutralize it. So this is another proof when they did on a human test, and this was done in a clinic, right? And what they did was to show proof of how fast it goes to your tissue oxygenation. So what they did was they put a probe. They put a probe on the left finger, on the left wrist, and on the left chest, left leg, and on the right hand. So they put a probe because they want to measure before and after. And take a look at this. This was the measurement, right? After taking, and this was what the reading, 6.9, 5.43, and all that. So what they did was they were giving gradual amount of oxygenated water, and over 30 minutes period's time. And at the end of it, they start to take the measurement. And the one over here on the left side, yeah. So what happens is that the increase of oxygenated from -6 increased to 48.1%. Ladies and gentlemen, to show how fast within let's say it again, minutes, it goes to your tissue oxygenation. And the one on the left hand, it was before 6.4 and it increased to 18%. And on the right hand, right, it was before 12 and it has increased to 22.2%. And on the left leg, because it's much more further from your heart, right? And it was -2, less oxygen. And right now it increased to 10.6%. So these are very good data. These are very good numbers that you can show, even if you have any of your prospect who is in the medical line and all that, they will be amazed because right till today, there isn't any medication, there isn't any supplements, there isn't any vitamin, there isn't any food out there that can increase your blood oxygen in the fastest period of time. None. So what you have here is the one and only Oxytap that increase on your blood oxygenation. We know, number one, we can compare the oxygen, the dissolved oxygen in the water. Number two, we can even test to our body from the blood oxygenation. Right after drinking it, you can do that. And we already done on the test on the tissue oxygenation. It proved that drinking oxygenated water, it replenish your oxygen absorption even faster. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, you can even Google to find out more. And this is what we get it from PubMed, right? This is what it says here. Oxygen concentration is an important factor in the maintenance, differentiation, and function of stem cell. Wow. So we are talking about stem. You already know with the eye care, it starts to stimulate the stem cell in your bone marrow. And now with the added of oxygenation, wow, it just speeded up the whole process. And this is what you want to have, right? So what you have here is something that is what you're going to drink every time. I'm not asking you to change your diet. It's going to be quite, like I say again, an uphill task. If you're living in Africa and I ask you to eat Asian food, you can't change that overnight. But as far as water is concerned, everybody in this world drink water. And what good water? You're going to have the freshest water right at home and anywhere that you bring it along. So going back to this is where we understand here, right? That the human body anatomy, all the human body, they are made of all the various organs. And if I may ask, right? If you are smarter than a fifth grader, which one is the largest organ of the human body? Some of them, they say is the intestine. It was the, like I say again, the liver or the heart or whatsoever. And the largest organ of the human body is basically our skin. Yes, your skin is also an organ. So that is the reason you got to look after your skin. And I'm not saying by going for a, what I call it, laser treatment and plastic surgery. No, we are talking about inside out. That is the reason when people look at you, they can tell you, hey, how come you look so fresh and so energetic and so radiant? And by looking at someone, you can also tell, why do you look sick? So ladies and gentlemen, I want to share you another secret. You remember the oxygenated water, always put it in a spray bottle with you. Right? So you can have one bottle at home. You can have one bottle that you bring it along or leave it in the car. And this is my oxygenated water. And you want to hydrate your skin. You spray it. This is the best mist spray that you can have. Right? And it saves a lot of money and it's the best oxygenator. So that is why people look at me, wow, you look more radiant. I'm using the oxygenated water. So it's not just for drinking, put it in a spray bottle and spread it all over. Yeah, so if you have, like again, itchy eyes and all that, use it. So what is important over here, we want to break down all of our organs and dissect it, put it under the microscope and realize that all these organs, they are made of the various specific body tissue. And we're going to dissect it, right? Because they have tissue of the heart, tissue on that. And we're going to dissect it and put under the microscope. And what we realize that all of us, we are millions and billions of macro living organisms, which is called the cell. So we know that the cell of the fish, the cell of the animal, the cell of the human, they are the same. What they need oxygen, they need water with oxygen. That is the most fresh of it, right? So if you deprive on it, that means this going to be, like I say again, a chain reaction to it. And we all know that all the cells, if you're going to dissect it, they're made of, inside here, right in the middle is a nucleus. Right, so imagine this, look like an egg yolk is the nucleus. And when you dissect the nucleus, what nucleus here, this is where chromosome. Just imagine, right? Inside one cell, there is 23 pairs of chromosome inside the nucleus. So when you start to pull your chromosome, it will expose your double helix DNA. Yes, deoxyribonucleic acid that is made of guanine, cytosine, thymine, and adenine. Right, so we're not going to go into that detail, but what I want to share with you, that's why your DNA, it shows why you look like your parents and why you behave like your parents. And the bucket stopped there. Yes, it stopped there because I want to say it again that you do not, let me repeat, you do not inherit your parents' sickness. Yes, you do not, because God is fair. How could you have A, doing the crime, and B is serving the time? Is it fair? So what we did inherit was actually bad lifestyle. Your parents are smoking and you are smoking, right? They are drinking and you are drinking. And I'm not talking about alcohol per se, but now it comes in a fancy name. They call it energy drinks. You're talking about Red Bull every day with Red Bull. That is bad for you. Every day, carbonated water. I was a fool once to look into the advertisement and thinking that 100 plus is good. It gives you energy. One can pay for one. I couldn't pass motion for 2 in a row. Oh, that easy. Then I understand what I've been drinking was all acidic. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: from today and now onward, you can actually say it. Your health starts at the cellular level. So what it starts at the cellular level? Number one, we already given them the terahertz. Now we are giving them oxygen. Remember, you want to keep your cell oxygenated so that it doesn't turn into cancer. Right? So when your cell is oxygenated, it is healthy. A healthy cell will lead to a healthy tissue that leads to a healthy organs, and you become healthy. Likewise, the same thing, right? And your sickness is also starting at the cellular level. But what you are treating is at the organ level. Right? A car, right? If its battery is flat, you just simply change a new battery. You don't overhaul the whole engine without changing the battery. It doesn't work. So likewise, water is liquid and it needs oxygen. Why? It needs combustion. It needs energy. If it's all dries up, it doesn't have the energy. So you need oxygen in the cell. So now the cell is fully charged and fully oxygenated to give you the mitochondria energy. It will lead to a healthy tissue. It leads to healthy organs, and you become healthy. Period. That's it. So till today, I have not visited any doctor at all. And I'm telling you, I want you to compare a 60 years old man, a grandfather, compared to anybody of 60 years old. We can take pictures side by side. Right. So basically what you want to do, this is another thing what we have to understand. We have it all wrong, misunderstood, that thinking buying the most expensive supplements and vitamin is good. No, what you need, the primary, you need to have more oxygen in your blood, because as you grow old, the oxygen in your body decrease. So if you take in a lot, even the most expensive, it cannot absorb it to the maximum. But if you increase the oxygen level, then you start taking whatever supplements, then that will add value to it. Now we understand this. I give you another fact of this. Nobel Prize winner. They won it in 2019. Nobel Prize on oxygen sensing and adaptability. All right. So let me just pull it out. What is the words that they got it for? They got it for the discoveries of how cells sense and adapt to oxygen availability. So the cells in our body, especially your brain and all your organs, they are searching and they are sensing any oxygen through the blood. If they're not getting it, they're going to have a blood clot, brain fog and all that. Because why? They have the blood, but not enough oxygen. So your blood carries, the blood is just a vehicle. It needs to have the oxygen, right? So it's just a vehicle. You have the blood without oxygen. That means it's not good. You have blood thickening and all that. You need to have oxygen. And the fastest way to get oxygen into your blood, that is 10 times faster as opposed to breathing, is by drinking the Oxytap. That's it. So now you understand and you found, like I said again, you found the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle, like I said again, to forever, the fountain of youth. Right. So now we understand this is something that I used when I was in Europe. They caught me by surprise. They want to make sure that I am what I'm talking about. My words worth the value. So they have this meter that was made in Russia. And this meter, it can measure your vascular age. And this is very important, your vascular age, right? And what's more important, it also measures your biological age. So what they did was they measured me, and this is what my age. And that age, remember, I'm 60 years old, and my vascular age, my biological age, read at 37. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see this is me, and people who saw me, they say that I'm using the same cap. Rashid, you're just looking younger and younger. I say not younger, healthier and healthier and healthier. Because when you remains healthy, your youth will come back. So this is the reason why I want you to take your picture every month and you can see the significant difference. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, at my age, I do not exercise. I don't have any time for exercise. But what I did was sexercise. You heard me wrong. Not sexercise, cell exercise. Your cell needs to exercise. Your cells need to have the oxygen, right? So it can give more mitochondria for more energy. So this is where Oxytap is the world first oxygen supplement infuser. The world first oxygen supplement. There is no oxygen supplement in the pharmacy, in the hospital, in any clinic, or in any food supplements company. We are the only one, the one and only. And what is great about this, it is made such that it can customize to your need by pressing it to your requirements, whether you're going to need it just to refresh when you drink it, re-energize or revitalize. So how are we going to do it? If it's your first time, I want you to start with just a single shot. Because what you want to do is to adjust your body. You do not want to take too much of it at one go, and then suddenly you're going to have, like I said again, there is going to be a reaction, right? So, which is good, but to some people, it's too much. So start for a couple of days with just a single shot. So when you press one time, it's 3 minutes. It will off automatically. That's called a single shot. When you press one time for single shot, it can infuse up to 25 parts per million of dissolved oxygen. And that is good enough for you to drink, right? And then after a couple of, say after 4 days, you can increase it. So this single shot, it gives you the refresh, that better concentration and focus. And those people who can't sleep on insomnia, we had ladies who cannot sleep for years. Suddenly after drinking it, she got the luxury of yawning. She doesn't yawn for 3 to 5 years. Suddenly she yawned. So remember, that is a luxury, just to yawn. And low energy and myopia. Remember, myopia, all you got to do, put it in a spray bottle, spray it, and all those. So it just, let's say it again, complement with what we have, okay? And after 4 days, you can go for a double shot. That means now you can increase on the oxygen because your body already adjusts to it, climatize it. Now, double shot will increase to 30 parts per million of dissolved oxygen. And what good is this? It is good for those who are suffering with asthma. Remember, I am an acute asthma patient before. 3 times I was sent to the hospital to breathe with the oxygen tank to my mouth. So right now, I can declare until today, I do not carry an inhaler. The doctor was surprised. I do not carry any inhaler. So ladies and gentlemen, is this a life-saving? Is this an act of love when you have the Oxytap for your family? That is how you show your love to your children, to your family, your wife, your spouse, your parents. They need the water. So you're not just getting it for yourself, you're getting it for the entire family. Wow, right? So for asthma and also for eczema, again, use this and spread it all over. And you will notice that you look more glowing, you look more radiant for arthritis, for hangover. So we're going to talk about hangover. Those people that we had a training, I think Moses was also there in Langkawi, and some of them were actually feeling tipsy. So I got my Oxytap, let them drink. What happens after 5 minutes, they start to throw up everything and they become sober. Right? So this is great. And what happens after a week, you can go for a triple shot. Right? So that means 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. And what happens with the triple shots, it will produce up to 35 parts per million of dissolved oxygen. So if you ask me, I've been drinking triple shot since then. Right, so I've been drinking it and I like it as a triple shot because it just maintained my body since I did not exercise. That is, of course, do not follow me, right? So what I want to do is counterbalance it, yeah? So it will revitalize those patients with cancer, right? COVID, long COVID-19, diabetes, and dementia. So the only setback on dementia, when there's a lot of oxygen in the brain, they start to remember and recall how much money you owe them before. So that's the only setback. Okay, so what is the effects of oxygen in the cancer cell? This was another study done with the Monash University that they did it on rats, 2 groups of rats, right? They injected the cancer cell, the prostate cancer, into the rats, and 1 group of rats is given the oxygenated water, and another group was given just the normal tap water. And after the 9 days, and what they did and found out that the group of rats that's given the oxygenated water, the tumor size of the cancer actually reduced, whereas the one that's given normal tap water, it increased. So you can see that this is, remember, Dr. Otto Warburg said, it can really manage on it. So just drink as what your body needs and over time, and you can see. And there's also another, what they did was to scan it, right? So this is a PET scan to show that the cancer cell growth in the normal tap water, wow, is growing, but the one that is given with the Oxytap can see that it diminished. So they will notice that the next time when they go for their chemotherapies and all that, the doctor will realize that the cancer cell count dropped significantly and thus reduce on the side effect of chemotherapy and so on. So we all know for sure that what we want to do is always taking the preventative measure. So I've not taken any medicine, I've not been to any clinics and all that, and I want to keep it that way because why? As you are aging, what most important to you is not about money, it's about your health. So you want to maintain your health, that you are able to move around and being mobile, because the moment when you are sick, you're going to be bedridden, you're going to become a burden not only to yourself, you're going to become a burden to your loved ones. So this is something that we do not want to happen, because I remember both my late parents, even my dad has to put on diapers. And basically the moment when you put on diapers, it's not easy just to change, especially if you need to have the palatial service right at home. Yeah. So these are the applications that you can use. So when you use it for sports, what they notice, they have a longer retention of stamina and also their speeds. And so this is great for performance. And what's good about it is that you can take in as much as oxygenated water. When they do on the drug test on you, you come clean, because what you're drinking is just water. There's no drugs. Your sport performance is going to be great, and it reduces on all those cramps. right? Normally, if you have not been exercised the next day, muscle pull and all that, it's gonna be gone. And what's more important, I've already told you about drinking, but please don't use this. But just a good tip is that before you go for your drink binge, maybe perhaps you take a glass of Oxytap, and the moment you come back, you take another glass. This is to reduce or get rid of the hangover the next day. So this is a good point to note. And of course, when we talk about the Oxytap, who are the user? It's unlimited. Everybody drinks water. You need every home in Kenya, in Africa, in Nigeria. They drink water, they need Oxytap. Whatever water filter they have, they need to complement it with infused oxygen from Oxytap, right? The same thing in school, so that the students, basically, even those with what they call it, ADHD, they feel much more relaxed.
And its sparkle and her shine in the class was so, so wonderful. Really, you can be such a proud mom.
Right, and on top of that, or even for officers, right? Because the whole idea why this corporate office, they need to have this in their offices to let all the staff drink so that the staff can perform and work more productively and reduce of medical sick leave. So this is one thing good. So towards the end of the year, normally can, rather than giving away hampers that's going to be thrown away, they could look into something that would be more sustainable, that they can give away the Oxytap. So this is something that you could look into of how that they can do it. So we know on beauty and wellness, this is good. Reduce the fine, like I say again, the wrinkles and all that, right? And on top of that, this is, again, hydrate your skin. Remember, do that. And it's great also for weight loss. To me, as I said, I just maintain my weight without doing anything different, right? And the whole idea of drinking the Oxytap is to prevent pain and diseases. So it's all about preventative measure, because it's always good, like I said again, to remain in good health rather becoming sick. So that is it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of it. So this is the reason why in Prive we have the triangle, the health triangle, the trilogy. So what's important, we have the Oxytap, which is oxygen and water. Wow, this is the top of it all. And then we have the sunshine and the sunlight, which is the eye care. And then we need to do the grounding or discharge of all the EMF from our body. And this is where we have the bio and the bio light. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope the information that I shared today has been somewhat of a, like I said again, informative, educational, and hopefully it has been entertaining. So if it has any question, you can unmute yourself and I hand it over back to your host. Thank you.
I have a few questions, Rashid.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have like maybe 5 combined together. Are we supposed to use the plastic bottles when we are bottling, Oxytap water for temporary use, either for the same day or for the week? And then question number 2, do you drink this water throughout? I know you've said for yourself you drink it all the time, but is it advisable for people to drink this water throughout maybe the day and also in the night? Some people have complained of losing sleep when they drink it in the night. Then question number 3, what's the best intake for a cancer patient? Maybe you could advise on that. Then number 4, how would you use Oxytap water versus the 7 Wonders that also is owned by Prive? How do you compare? I mean, how is someone supposed to use the 2, or is it that when you have Oxytap, you don't need 7 Wonders? And then number 5, my last question is, do you energize the water before oxygenating or vice versa?
Okay. Very good question. Just a moment. Okay, the reason why was off. To answer the number 1 question, the best storage of Oxytap is always in a neutral glass or clayware bottles. Why is that so? It's neutral. Never use a plastic bottle because we know plastic, they are made of all these gases, oils and all that byproduct. And what happens when it exposed under the sun, especially in the car, and it will leach the gas into the water. So the moment you drink the water, basically it causes carcinogen, the cause of cancer. So that is something that you do not want to use plastic bottle anymore at home. And it also changed the taste of the water. It left an aftertaste if you put in the plastic bottle. If you need to use plastic bottle, make sure you look for Triton, Tritan, not even BPA free, yeah, Triton. So I do not know whether it's available right there. If you have that, then it's fine. Otherwise, just get a glass bottle. A simple glass bottle, you can go to IKEA and all that. Those glass bottles is good. You can put it in the fridge and all those. And don't even put it in a steel bottle, because the moment you put it in a steel bottle, the oxygens will react and it will oxidize. Basically, it will leach out the oxygen even faster. So the next thing, how long can you actually retain? Remember, the moment you already put it, you oxygenated the water, you want to cover the cap of your bottle so that it do not, like I said again, if it's leave it open, basically it will go down over a couple, or like I say again, 24 hours. Then it's going to reduce and reduce. So this is the reason we do not encourage anyone to sell oxygenated water, because it will not be fair for the consumer. So unless if you want to give it a try, you got a water bottle, do it right away and let them drink it for the whole day, it's fine. So do not store it for too long, because if you want to store it longer, right, you can store it and leave it in the fridge. So with the cold temperature, so at least they will retain the oxygenation somewhat couple of days. So just the best, whenever I want to drink it, I'll just put it, because basically when I put it, it's just 3 minutes or that, and I can drink it. Otherwise, put it in a bottle, put it in the fridge, so cap it, it will last longer. And the next question, right? So those people were asking me, I might jump the question, all right? Which one to drink, whether you're gonna drink the the what do you call it, hydrogen water bottle, or from the Oxytap. Do you mix both? Okay. When we do not have the Oxytap, I was relying on the hydrogen. But with informations and education and understand the body, what the body needs is lots of oxygen. So the moment I have my Oxytap, I do not use the hydrogen anymore, because you want to get the best. What do you settle for less? And you know what the human body composition is at 65% of oxygen. And we can already see all those data and statistics, what it does to your organ, to your blood when it has fully oxygenated. Remember, the doctor do not check the hydrogen level in your blood. What does the doctor did? They check oxygen level in your blood and everything. So if it doesn't work on all that, is the oxygen. That is primary. Okay, so that is important. Okay, the next question, if you ask me whether that you should continue drinking the Oxytap, yes, you continue. The only thing to some people during the first time, when at night, instead of drinking 3 shots, you just drink those 1 shot. That means after your dinner, you do not want to be feeling active. So reduce the oxygen to 1 shot so that you can sleep. Otherwise, you are alert and active. All right. And then the last question with regards that you need to terahertz your water. I did that. So what I did it, I will terahertz my water and then I oxygenated it. So I get best of the both worlds. Because when you terahertz the water, what it does, it breaks down the molecule of the water. Now you see, so it breaks down the molecule of the water, and when you oxygenated it, it can retain more oxygen in a small clustered water. So this is another tip that I want to share with you. You do not need to blow your water anymore. Okay, so this is a study that I got from the Professor Yang Wenjun. Remember your classic. If you have any of those spoiled classic, remember, do not, like I said again, throw away the crystal. So what you do, clean it. and put it in a jug of water. When you put it in a jug of water, automatically it becomes terahertz water, even without the heat. Wow, isn't that great? So do not throw this, right? Whether it's white color or brown color, it doesn't matter as long as from iTerracare, right? Put it in a jug of water. So what I normally put was, first I put it in a jug of water. Right after that, I oxygenated the whole jug. Wow. So what I have is terahertz and oxygenated water. So I hope now you don't even need to blow it. Right, you don't even need to blow it. Just make sure that it is always clean and hygiene when you put it in a jug of water. So that basically, and very careful, yeah, because this is glass, so make sure that you don't have anything that's cracked or whatever and bring something like that. Just have a filter of it. Okay, I hope I've answered all that question. And there's some question here. For how long can oxygenated water be stored before it loses oxygen? Remember, room temperature is 24 hours. In the fridge, it probably lasts for another week. And if you put it into ice cube till it melts. Okay, so that. And then can oxygenated water be stored in the fridge without losing the oxygen? I already answered that. Okay, so I hope that. Okay, thank you very much. So what happens if you want to boil it to make coffee and tea? Don't waste the oxygenated water, because the moment you heat it, it will just vaporize. So what you do, right? So if you already, as long as you have the terahertz water, boil it. It's fine. You can boil it. You can even put it in the what do you call it, in your kettle. If you want to boil it, it's fine, because this will not crack under heat. You see, so it's inside water. And then when you pour it, you have already the terahertz water. And if you want to add a little bit more flavor, then just pour a little bit into your coffee and it just make it more mellow. But of course, we are not talking about the oxygenated, but it makes it more mellow. So don't waste of boiling your oxygenated water for all your dishes. Okay, so I hope that answers it. Okay, so basically, all right, thank you very much. And I'm glad that each and every one of you has benefited out of this. Okay. Now there's question from Bernard. Are we supposed to use plastic water bottles? I answered that. Do you drink in this water throughout? Now I answered that. What's the best intake for cancer patient? As for cancer patient, remember the same thing. Start with just a single shot. So after a single shot, a couple of days, increase it to double shot. Then after that, increase it to 3 shots, and that will be good, because you want to maintain the cell to have enough oxygen. And we know all the organs will be oxygenated, and it's already been proven. So drink that, and they can see the significant results the moment when they go to the doctor will be shocked to note that a decrease amount of cancer cell count. So that is something will reduce on the chemotherapy. So what we are doing, we are not taking any medication. We're not taking anything. Yes, drink the water even when you want to take your medicine, your supplement. You're just drinking water, oxygenated water. Remember, the fish in the ocean, they don't get sick if it's enough oxygen, unless it's polluted and so on, right? So that is what we got to learn. And the body of the human is 70% water. So how would you use Oxytap, water, and 7 wonders? The moment you have Oxytap, stop on the 7 wonders. What you want is oxygen, okay, not hydrogen. We understand that. Do you energize the water? Okay, we already answered it. Dementia, remembrance, yes, it's good. They will remember how much money you owe them before, so pay back. I believe it's good to structure water using the archive. Okay, dementia, yes, we have dementia case, and basically I've answered all the questions. So remember, don't go out selling, but tell them the importance of what they are getting. Every part of this health triangle is an act of love for the family. This is something what money can't buy. Okay, over to you, the host. Any other question, ladies and gentlemen?
I have a question, Rashid.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the maximum, what's the quantity, or rather the maximum quantity of water that you can use on the Oxytap? Should we maybe like change the bottle that comes with the Oxytap, or just use that one that comes with the Oxytap?
Okay, so remember, if you have the, what do you call it, the dissolved oxygen meter, it's good that you can also measure it. after 1 year. I've been using mine for 1 year plus and it's still good. So I don't need any servicing because every time when you go put in a new water, somehow there's a tank inside there, it will just continue recycle of doing it. So you always maintain it. Another significant way for you to notice is the bubbles inside there, whether it's producing more bubbles that is from the output of that, right? So from there is an indicator, because the best is we shared that after 1 year of you need to do the servicing. So this is something that Thrive have yet to settle with Mr. Wilson Tan on the servicing, on how to do it. I think he has also shared to some of those stockists and even country, especially like in Europe, how to do the servicing of it. Unless otherwise the oxygen content is low, right? Then basically it needs to go back to do the internal part of it. So not to worry on that, that's going to be covered by them, because they want to make sure that all the users all across the globe, there will be a service center for that. Yeah. And please do not use oxygenated water. You don't need to boil the oxygenated water. It's just going to defeat the purpose. So just enough with the terahertz, put in your kettle, that's good enough, right? So if you have a lot of those, I have a couple of those that are spoiled, so I do not throw away the crystal tube itself, right? So I use this and I put it into my water jug and it becomes terahertz. So you don't need the heat. You don't need the heat. The heat is basically to push it down into your body, that it goes a penetration of 30 centimeter or 12 inches deep. Otherwise, for the water, just put it in. Wow. If you have a device that can actually measure the energy of the water, you can see instantly that the water is being terahertz. Just putting this inside your jug or whatever to pour it. Just be mindful. Make sure there is no cracks whatsoever. Okay, so I hope this is a good tip for all of you. Okay, so remember, this is what important. You want them to benefit. So whatever the sharing is not talking from here to sell it because they don't like salesmen, but I want you to talk right from your heart, because they can feel you. When they can feel you, they say that what you are thinking is for the best interest of their family. And this will create the need. So what we are doing here is creating needs. Yes, because water is a need. It's not a luxury. It's a need. Every day you need to drink water. Okay, so I just let me pull something out here to show you that what is important. People are comparing. Is it cheaper for me to buy those out there oxygenated water, right? Or from Oxytap? Let's do the calculation, because what we have in Thrive, we catered for the low market, for the middle income market, and also for the high income market. What do I mean by that? For the people who wanted to start with Thrive, they can start low income. They can start with the iTerracare, the classic. All right. If they have a little bit more money, they can go for the middle one, right? And even the BioLite. And the high income, yes, they can get the Bio and the Oxytap and the Pro. And remember, all those things that what you're going to get, it's going to be free. Yes, FREE. It's going to cost you free. Okay, let me go to here, right? Let me just show to here. Forward. Okay, so this is where I did all the talk with regards to the talk on the Oxytap, right? So we're talking about fastest route to Crown Ambassador. You can see there's a lot of people in Indonesia that goes up in their ranking. So we're talking about the fastest route to Crown Ambassador. Yes, diamond, diamond, diamond. All right, so we're gonna share only on diamond. Okay, so the only missing flag here is anywhere from Africa that I don't have it. The rest of it in Europe and the US is all covered there. And what's more important, okay, 5-second breakthrough. You know that it costs even expensive in Europe, and they are getting it. It nearly costs more than 1,000 plus in Europe. So do they compare and do they complain? No, it's just like you're buying a Louis Vuitton. A Louis Vuitton will cost cheaper in France. The moment you buy out of France, the price will be different. So likewise, in Thrive, the same thing, right? Where is the headquarters? It will be cheaper anywhere out there because we are paying the tax, whatever that is necessary, so you can have a sustainable. So for you guys, I believe the price is about 5,300, right? So what's important here, let's compare. Because there are some oxygen bottled water out there you can buy over the supermarket. And mind you, the moment you test it, the oxygen level is under 10 parts per million. Because why? It's just like a fizzer water. The moment you uncap, all the air will start to come out. So what you are paying, you're just being penny wise and pound foolish. So let's just do the maths. Let's supposing you're buying one bottle oxygen water, 1 liter, they're selling at $4, right? And husband and wife and 2 kids. So how much will it cost you a day? $16. Just one bottle a day for one person. Obviously, it's not enough. You're drinking more than 1 liter a day. So we're just going to do the maths here, being conservative. You're drinking it for 1 year, 365 days, you would have spent about 5,840 US dollars. 5,840 US dollars. And what is the price of your Oxytap in Kenya? Is only 5,200. So ladies and gentlemen, do these maths for them. What they are saving here is 640. This is just basing on 1 year and basing on just 1 liter per person. So what we are having, the value added beyond this, we are environmental friendly. And now you do not have to go to the mountain. You bring the mountain back to your home. You are having this mountain fresh water right at home. It's just like you have the whole factory right at your home. Any point of time at your call, you have the freshest water to drink. And it's unlimited supply of oxygenated water. You want to have it fresh, you have it fresh, right? So this is the oxygenated water supplement nutrition of vitamins, the one and only, right? And it's great, okay, for beauty, hot cold drinks, ice cube, baking, cooking, pets and plants, and environmental friendly. And what you do, you just share it with 4 people. And your Oxytap is as good as free with continuous and sustainable profit, and also for your generation. What I'm trying to say is this, when someone is being diagnosed with a sickness, when the doctor prepares you to get some kind of a machine for you to use, without the blink of an eye, you're going to pay more than $10,000. And who's going to use it? Just one sick person. One sick person, and you paying for $10,000, the money is not going to come back to you just for yourself. But when you get an Oxytap, the Oxytap is basically for the entire family. It's not just for you as a sick person. You're going to get healthy. The whole family is getting the act of love, and they're going to have a healthy life. So now show them the match. When you show them the match, they're going to be very appreciative. You can count whether you're going to buy any other expensive water bottle, do the maths. Remember, I always say again and again, numbers don't lie. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I've shared everything from my heart, that this is how you're going to enter the market, and this is how you're going to get and make it big in Africa.
Rashid, there's one question I feel maybe we need to address, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep.
It's about a question Shiro asked about the quantity when you're infusing oxygen into water. The small water bottles that come with the Oxytap, they are very small. They are less than half a liter. But in your videos, I've also seen you using bigger bottles that are like 1.5 liter. Would that be okay to use a bigger bottle? Is there a maximum amount of water in terms of liters that we can put through Oxytap? Maybe you can address that. Thank you.
Yeah, if that's true, because it does varies, you see, the amount of water that you put it to be oxygenated. If you use a jug, probably you're going to, like I said again, do shots in order to get like a one shots and all that. The reason why I use those big one, rather than I have to change the bottle all the time, I use those big one. Then after that, I'll pour it in a small bottle to make it easy for me. So of course, if you are using it, especially for recovery, you want to have the maximum oxygen concentration. So do not use more than, like I said again, one liter bottle itself, because that 500 liters and all that, the small one is too little and all those, you can just increase unless, like I said again, it's really sick person and all that, you want to have a faster, higher oxygen concentration. Yes, the smaller it is, the better, higher concentration in that bottle. So it does play a role. So again, like I said again, I don't want to make it like hard and fast rules and all that. Drink as you need it. And of course, it does play a part. So it's either you press one shot to have really higher concentration in a small 500 ml water, or you can use a double shot if you're going to have a bigger bottle. So that's basically what you need to do. But there is no wrong to it. You can drink it. That's what is the purpose of drinking it. For recovery and all that, use the highest, the smallest the bottle, so that you have a higher concentration of oxygen in the water. I hope that answers it. Okay, so the measuring of the dissolved oxygen meter, I will forward it to your admin, and then basically you can make the, what do you call it, the purchase online directly from the manufacturer itself. Yep, because that one is kind of a tricky. You got to really maintain it and all that. So I normally will give it out that you can buy directly from them. Okay? Okay, so it's been 1.5 hours. It has been good. Okay, over to you, admin. Okay, last question from Fiona. I've noticed that during the infusing, the first shot lasts more than 3 minutes. Okay, reason why, you want to, the moment you switch off, every time when it's plugged in again, automatically, the first one, it will be more than 3 minutes. So it's good if you have, like I said again, power surge at home, so you want to keep your machine safe, you pull out. But if you do not have a power surge in your area, you can just leave it on, right? So you do not have to switch and off from the plug itself. So that's basically what it does. So that's normal, okay? Okay, admin, over to you.
Thank you very much. And I hope it has been a wonderful session, very inclusive, constructive, and to the point concerning our Oxytap. And to those who tuned in, I think you've had it at a high notch. And most of the questions that have been pending have been answered today. I hope we will continue, and if possible, we'll request for another session in the near future. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now we've come to the end of this wonderful presentation. All the concerns and questions have been answered, and we are very much grateful that Noor, Rashid gave us this opportunity and took us through this process, spent almost an hour with us in the midst of his fixed and tight life in Prive. So we are very much grateful. The leaders have been interactive, and we like the way you've interacted with us. Everybody is at home. Nobody was missed out, and all the questions have been clarified and answered well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that everything that was of concern have been exhausted. All the questions have been answered, and without wasting any more time, I'll once more want to thank in a great and better way our presenter, Rashid Noor, Singapore Prive Director, and as well on behalf of our East Africa branch, headed by our Operations Director. I do believe our Operations Director is still with us. And if maybe he have something for Rashid. We can take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Moses Go, just for a tapping on the back for our wonderful presenter. So Mr. Moses Go, I give you this opportunity, and if possible, if there's not any other duty, then I'll request that you close for us the session this evening.
Oh, we have here Mr. Wilson Tan, very sexy. we have the founder here. He's listening.
Oh.
Very sexy.
Oh.
Wilson, maybe
Can we have a moment of
all
him?
of them.
Can we have a moment of him? Say hi to us.
Yes, he's here. Mr. Wilson Tan is listening.
Please, let him say hi to the team.
I caught
Hi,
him
everyone.
half-naked.
Hi,
Moses,
everyone.
how are you? So do you need me to come to Africa?
Yeah.
You should organize a sales seminar for Oxytap, and then we can go there and train your branch also how to service and maintain the machines after the training.
Okay, that is great.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was a wonderful session. Even the inventor himself was tuned in and listening to the presentation, and is very much willing to come to Africa and help us move the products, understand the concept of the product, and market the product and sell the product to our communities. So that is his word, and we're going to buy onto that and make sure that we organize a sales symposium for him to come over and help us move the product. So thank you very much, the founder. Thank you very much, the presenter of the day. And I want now to give this chance to Mr. Moses Go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Good
much.
morning. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. So, good mornings to all my beloved brothers and sisters in this platform, and especially to our brothers all the way from Singapore, Malaysia, Mr. Noor Rashid. Yeah, terima kasih. Well, and also to our inventor, Mr. Wilson Tan. So we appreciate so much for your time, for your information, for your knowledge. I believe that all our beloved brothers and sisters in this platform here, we really gain a lot of information, the knowledge, and I could say that we promise that we are going to push this Oxytap to the highest. All right, and to make sure that each and every family in this Africa, especially, to own at least a unit of this Oxytap in their house, so that everyone also can benefit from there. And over here, I could say that for Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and I believe that we also have some from maybe from South Africa, from DRC. So yes, even though our head office is in Kenya here, but feel free to reach our office if you have any questions or you want to place the purchase. Just go to the nearest office, and I believe that our people there will communicate with you that how are we going to deliver you with this Oxytap, and also I could say that wow, okay, a lot of people that I couldn't mention one by one over here, but I can say that this is a great opportunity and a good start for us, okay? And Mr. Noor Rashid, I believe that one day, okay, he shall come over to Africa and to be with us, and also to give the biggest, okay, this Oxytap talk to all our people, and we must make sure that we must commit good numbers of the people, because it's not easy to invite him to come over. At least, okay, at least we have to reach 1,000 people so that he can come over here and going to spread the good news to all the people in Africa here, and together we achieve the higher height. So over here, let me not take too much of the time, and I believe that through this today, the Zoom presentation, if you have any question, just look back for the people who refer you into this platform, and also maybe you can come to reach our office. So thank you so much, and I appreciate, and stay healthy, beauty, wealthy, and God bless you. Thank you so much. We love
Good
you.
morning. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Kochaka?
Yes, thank you very much. And now we've come to the end